The key to your potential is very fucking simple. Now, as in simple, it doesn't mean easy, but to gain and unlock that dormant potential within you is to simply do what is difficult and not do what is easy. So that means everything that is easy in your life, you don't do, and everything that is difficult, you do every day. Through that, you'll develop a certain character, you'll develop a certain way of moving in the universe, you'll develop yourself into a higher level version of yourself instead of remaining a low level stagnant piece of shit your entire fucking life. That decrepit bitch in the mirror that never took a step forward, always took a step backward, and then got mad at life when they were in a position they didn't want to be in, even though it's that bitch in the mirror's fault who allowed them to step backwards every time they had the opportunity to step forward, which was every day they woke up and had the choice to either take a step forward or take a step backward. So the key to your potential is taking steps forward and being aware to the fact that you're taking steps backward every day. So the moment you're aware to the fact you're taking a step backward, now you have the opportunity to take a step forward. Most people aren't aware that they're taking steps backward, so they take a step backward without the conscious awareness to the fact that they're going backwards in time, like literally, like as time pushes forward, they're going backwards, and so they are contradicting the universe's fucking schematic to run things at a functional rate, to allow things to evolve and to mature over time, to grow over time. No tree that, is naturally planted in the soil started to reverse in growth to grow backwards when time was moving forward. So every time you take a step backwards and you neglect the responsibility to take a step forward as a primate, as a fucking organism on earth, it's your responsibility to take a step forward all the time, every day, every time you have the opportunity to. So the key to your potential, the door that you have not unlocked yet because you are unaware to the fact you are taking a step backwards, the key to your potential is to become aware when you are moving backwards and not moving forward. So every time you pick up the drink, every time you pick up the smoke, every time you indulge in that fake friendship to entertain each other and to have a parasitic bondage to each other and to be like vampires sucking each other's blood and life source, to feel better about oneself for being a low-level piece of shit, stagnant bitch your entire fucking life, and to go backwards in time instead of forward like every fucking thing on the fucking planet. Everything in the fucking universe, including the universe itself. So again, guys, it's very fucking simple. I didn't say it was easy. I said it's very simple. Now, if you're gonna make the easy choice every day, that's okay. But when you look in the mirror and see a fat, addicted piece of shit, well, blame yourself for that shit and don't go out into the universe channeling that piece of shit energy onto people that have nothing to do with that bitch in the mirror that you've created through your daily habits. It's either inferior conduct or superior conduct. And every time you indulge in that little indolence and that inferior fucking conduct, well, you're going to be rendered an inferior primate and you're going to take steps backward, reversing in evolution. So literally contextually a fact, you are inferior as a primate because you are taking steps backwards. You are devolving through the space and time continuum, so that means you are rendered an inferior primate by factual context. If you are taking steps forward, you are evolving, you are growing as an individual. So if you are not evolving and taking steps forward, well, you're taking steps backwards because there's no neutrality when the fucking quantum continuum is moving forward all the time, every day. The moment you just lost a moment ago, you'll never get back. So are you going to take steps forward? Are you going to look in the mirror and, not be satisfied with that piece of shit everyone tells you to accept? I don't know about you, but, we can't accept less. And to accept less is to be rendered inferior, because if there's a choice, you have the option to choose more, but you chose less. So if you chose less, but you had the option to choose more is the superior choice, because just like good and bad, there's inferior and superior. But I like to say inferior and superior because when you make the lesser choice, you're rendered inferior. To say you're rendered inferior by factual context is just it's very it's indicative. It's very, you're aware to the fact, you're actually comprehending the velocity of what I'm trying to, inverse into your mind through, linguistical communication. And, you know, there's so many levels, and, to be on the lowest one every day and then to not realize you're on the lowest level, going backwards, so being on lower levels as time continues. So as you're supposed to grow and get to the higher level, you just move backwards, and now you're at level negative infinity, and we've just been growing in front of your face every single day. So I mean, it's very simple, it's very straightforward. You make the difficult choice, you do what you don't want to do, and you love what you don't like doing. So going to the gym, tracking the meals, making sure that you are not being tempted by all these, external things that, render you inferior by choice. Every time you pick up the drink, every time you pick up the smoke, every time you pick up the weed, you're rendered inferior, and, you're inferior bitch, and you just devolved yourself, and you just passively killed yourself by indulging in shit that actually takes away from your life. So you rather put your time and energy into things that take away from your life because it's easy, than to put your time and energy into things that add onto your life because it's hard. Now that just reveals character, and that, goes to show what type of bitch you are and what type of piece of shit you've created. And you should reflect and look in the mirror of reality, look at your life, and ask yourself if that piece of shit in the mirror, if that's what you're satisfied with, then that's okay. But, if you're not satisfied with a bitch like that you've created through your daily habits, you're going to need to make a very important change. And so this is why you're going to join the self-development community, links in the description. You're going to DM me on Instagram for the one-on-one mindset coaching, links in the description. And we're going to get you on the program, and the program is going to literally transform you from whatever the fuck that shit is to a purposeful, intentional, best version of you that we could possibly create in every metric of existence. Whether that's physically, mentally, if you want to get on the higher level programs, that can be financially. But let's start with the basics. If your body is in a rudimentary fucking state of existing, so your body looks like a dysmorphic, whatever the fuck that is, your body is all, fucked up and shit, you fucked your body up. Well, start with the first program and we will build you from there. But to walk around like a dysmorphic piece of shit and then to pretend like we don't notice it is to be rendered inferior again. Because when you say you don't want people to judge you, it's really because you just judge yourself, and you just don't want people to judge you because you didn't accept what the fuck you judged. I mean, everyone's judging you all the time, and that voice in your head that's telling you to, that you're being judged is a voice you should listen to make a fucking change, instead of accept that piece of shit in the mirror that you believe you can't change, even though you can, because there's people who had worse, been through worse, and done more at a higher level than you. So, I mean, the choice is very fucking simple. Inferior conduct or superior conduct. Every time you make the inferior choice, you're rendered inferior, and your life is worth the germ on my snicker. Now, every day we grow, every day we expand, and every day you contract, and every day you neglect the responsibility to become a better individual. So, I mean, you can die a bitch in the life you only get once, or you can get with the movement and start moving towards goals that will actually, separate you, make you distinct, a distinguished character to allow you to be a better individual as you move forward in time, instead of take a step backward, reverberate inadequacy, and then pretend that fucking problem that you are doesn't exist and that we don't see it, even though we do. So that's it for today. Peace.